The Jordan Show on YouTube.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You ready to dive deep into something truly awesome?
Always up for a deep dive.
Sweet. Today, we're going to tackle the Foucault pendulum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I mean, you've probably seen one, right? That giant swinging pendulum, usually hanging out in a museum or something.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're pretty hard to miss.
Right. But there's actually way more to these things than just their size.
Absolutely. It's not just a cool visual, it's like a really elegant way of showing us something fundamental about our planet. It rotates.
Okay, so let's break this down for our listeners. Imagine you have a really, really long pendulum just swinging back and forth.
Okay, got it.
Now, if the Earth was just, like, stationary, you'd expect the pendulum to just keep swinging the same plane, right? Like, just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. You'd think it would just keep going the same way.
Right. But, and here's where it gets really mind-blowing, the Earth is actually rotating beneath the pendulum. And that rotation is what causes the pendulum swing to appear to shift direction.
Exactly.
But, and this is important, the pendulum itself isn't actually changing its path at all.
Right.
It's the Earth that's moving underneath it.
It's like, whoa!
Right. Like, it's one of those things that's just so simple to picture, but so hard to wrap your head around at the same time.
Totally agree.
I remember when I first learned about how this all works, and the thing that really got me was how the pendulum behaves differently depending on where you are on Earth.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like at the poles, it completes a full rotation in 24 hours. But at the equator, there's no rotation at all.
Yeah, that's wild. And it all comes down to, like, the angle at which the Earth's rotation affects the pendulum, and that angle changes with latitude.
Right.
Like, imagine slicing an orange. At the poles, you're slicing straight down, so you get the full effect of the rotation.
Right.
But at the equator, you're slicing across the middle, so the rotation doesn't have the same impact.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like a cool visual way to think about it, right?
Generally.
And there's actually a formula based on the sine function that connects the rotation rate to the latitude.
Oh, wow.
It's like a perfect example of the mathematical elegance behind this whole phenomenon.
That's so cool. It's like math and physics coming together to create this beautiful, mind-bending display.
Yeah, exactly.
I was reading about Foucault's original demonstration, the one he did back in 1851.
Oh, yeah, in the Pantheon in Paris. What a setting for such a groundbreaking experiment.
Right. I mean, can you imagine being there and seeing that for the first time?
It must have been incredible. It's interesting because while the Earth's rotation was already pretty widely accepted in scientific circles at the time, Foucault's pendulum actually provided this tangible visual proof.
Right.
Before, it was all just a concept, a theory, but this device made it real. Something you could actually see happening right in front of you.
It's like it bridged the gap between abstract knowledge and a tangible experience.
Exactly. Made it real for people.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. And it's not just about science, right? There's definitely an artistic element to the Foucault pendulum, too.
For sure.
Like, I remember seeing one at a science museum when I was a kid, and I was just, like, mesmerized.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely captivating.
The sheer scale of it, that slow and steady swing.
Yeah.
It really does make you feel the Earth's movement.
It's not just a visual spectacle either. Like, the Foucault pendulum, it also illustrates some key physics concepts.
Oh, it's cool.
Like inertial frames of reference. The idea that the laws of physics are the same in any system that's not accelerating.
Yeah.
And then there's the Coriolis effect, which explains why objects moving within a rotating frame of reference appear to deflect.
It's like all these different scientific ideas are coming together in this one simple, elegant device.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, I've always noticed how often the Foucault pendulum pops up in movies and TV shows. It's not just about scientific accuracy, right? It's like there's something deeper going on.
Oh, for sure. The Foucault pendulum is loaded with symbolic meaning.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
Well, think about it. You've got this steady, unchanging swing against the backdrop of a rotating Earth.
Right.
So it becomes this powerful metaphor for the passage of time. The relentless march of history, even the contrast between our own individual lives and like the grand sweep of the cosmos.
It's like a visual representation of our place in the universe, right?
Exactly.
I remember that one scene in Umberto Eco's Foucault's Pendulum where the pendulum takes on this almost mystical significance.
Oh, yeah, I love that book.
It creates this atmosphere of suspense.
Right.
And it even foreshadows some of the events that happen later in the story.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, it's like filmmakers use the Foucault pendulum not just as a visual element, but as a symbol that adds all these layers of meaning and depth to their storytelling.
For sure, it adds this whole other dimension.
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway here? It seems like the Foucault pendulum isn't just a cool science experiment.
Definitely not.
It's like this reminder of our planet's constant motion.
Right.
It's a symbol that resonates across science, art, and culture.
Absolutely.
It's even a source of, like, philosophical reflection, you know?
It makes you think about big questions.
It really does. It makes you think, if you had the opportunity to design your own Foucault pendulum, where would you put it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And what message would you want it to convey?
That's something for our listeners to ponder. It's a challenge to think about how something so simple can hold so much meaning.
It's a good one. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
And be sure to check back next time for another deep dive into something awesome.
We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.